Let's continue learning Motif 3. Motif 3 is roughly equivalent to half of Motif 2. It also starts with an adjustable magic ring. Then each row is crocheted on the right side. Finally, crochet the edging at the bottom. Please watch me demonstrate. First, create an adjustable magic ring. Then start crocheting the first row, including the beginning chain. It is like crocheting 9 double crochets. After finishing, close the magic ring, then weave in the yarn tail. Simply weave in the ending yarn tail along the back loop. Next, crochet the second row, join the yarn in the turning chain of the previous row. Chain 3. In the adjacent stitch on the left, crochet 2 double crochets at the same time. Continue to refer to the pattern and crochet double crochets and chains. Finish this row and fasten off the yarn. The second row is complete. Weave in the ends. Continue with the third row. Join the yarn in the turning chain. Work 1 chain. Crochet 1 single crochet in the joining place. Chain 2. Skip 2 stitches. Crochet 1 single crochet. Refer to the chart to finish this row and fasten off the yarn. After completing, continue with the fourth row. Join the yarn on the first single crochet. Then work 5 chains directly. Continue following the chart to finish this row. The ending is 2 chains. And crochet 1 double crochet in the edge single crochet stitch. After finishing, fasten off and weave in the ends. Once completed, continue with the 5th row, join the yarn on the 3rd chain. Work 1 chain. Crochet 1 single crochet at the joining point. Then in the double crochet stitch adjacent to the beginning chain of row 2. Work a DC5 popcorn stitch. At the same time, wrap the 3rd row's chains. Continue referring to the pattern to finish this row. The ending popcorn stitch is crocheted in the second to last double crochet stitch. Row 5 is now complete. Keep referring to the chart. Continue until you finish row 13. Fasten off normally at the end of each row. Rejoin yarn at the beginning of each row, if below there are 3 chains. Or 4 chain turning chains. Pick up the 2 strands at the top chain to join the yarn. If you can't find it precisely, an approximation is fine. If the edge is single crochet, pick up the single crochet stitch to join the yarn. Pay attention, for the part in the middle that is crocheted normally, the insertion position is the same as motif 2. You can refer to the demonstration of motif 2, and follow the chart to crochet. Do not fasten off after finishing row 13. Now I have finished crocheting row 13. The dots here are not crocheted yet. Make sure to crochet them normally when you do it. Next, you need to crochet single crochets along this diagonal edge. First, make 1 chain. Then on the sides of the last 2 rows. Correspondingly crochet 3 single crochets each. Just try to keep them roughly even. Then crochet 1 single crochet on this single crochet side. Crochet 2 single crochets on this double crochet side. And 3 single crochets on this treble crochet side. After completing it, crochet 2 stitches on each of these 5 double crochet sides. Crochet 1 stitch on each of the 3 single crochet sides. After completing, crochet 1 stitch in the center space. For the remaining half, crochet single crochets symmetrically to the front part. After finishing, at the top of the beginning chain, which is the second chain from the right side of this double crochet, join with a slip stitch, and fasten off the yarn. That concludes motif 3. Next, let's learn motif 4. Motif 4 is a solid color piece. Therefore, it requires crocheting back and forth in rows. After completing the last row, you also need to crochet the edging at the bottom. Please watch me demonstrate. Start with a magic ring. Then begin crocheting the first round. Start by chaining 6 directly. Then crochet 1 double crochet. Chain 2. Then make 1 treble crochet. Follow with 10 double crochets. After completing, join with a slip stitch into the 4th chain. That is, the 3rd chain on the right side of this double crochet stitch. The first round is now complete. Now move on to the second row. When crocheting in rows, always start reading the chart from the side where the turning chains are. This means following the direction of the arrow. Make 4 chains. Turn to the wrong side. In the same insertion point as the slip stitch, make 1 treble crochet. On the double crochet stitch on the left, make 2 double crochets. Pay attention. When viewing from the back of a row, the stitch corresponds to the V-shaped braid on the top left. On the 2 stitches on the left, work 1 half double crochet and 1 single crochet in order. After finishing, make 1 SC2 in 1 on the left. That is, work 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Continue crocheting while referring to the pattern, all the way down to the last 2 treble crochets. Now I've finished the second row. Let's move on to the third row. Start with 5 chains right away. Turn to the right side. We'll consider the right side of the first row as the right side of the entire piece. Work 1 double crochet in the second stitch. On the adjacent stitch on the left, continue with 1 double crochet. Then on the left stitch, work 2 double crochets at the same time. Work 1 double crochet on the adjacent stitch on the left. Then work 4 double crochets symmetrically as before. After completing it, work 3 chains. Skip 2 stitches below, crochet symmetrically to the previous part. Finally, work 1 treble crochet in the beginning chain. Row 3 is now completed. Continue with row 4. Start by working 5 chains directly. Turn to the wrong side. Work 1 double crochet on the edge stitch. 1 chain. Then correspondingly make double crochets. After completing it, 1 chain. Work 1 double crochet in the same space as the space. 3 chains. 1 double crochet. 1 chain. Correspondingly work double crochets for this section. After completing it, 1 chain on the top of the beginning chain, which means skip 1 chain. Work 1 double crochet, 1 chain and 1 treble crochet. Row 4 is completed. Continue with row 5. Start directly with 4 chains. Flip to the right side. Work 1 treble crochet on the edge stitch. 1 chain. Then on this double crochet stitch on the left side, work 3 double crochets at the same time. Two chains. Then, on the 2 double crochet stitches on the left side, work a DC2 tog. That is, first work an unclosed double crochet in each of these 2 stitches. Then yarn over, and pull the yarn through all loops at once. This is the DC2 tog. Then correspondingly make double crochets. Continue crocheting until 2 stitches remain. After completing, work another DC2 tog. Then make 2 chains. Crochet 3 double crochets in this stitch at the same time. Then work 3 chains. Then crochet symmetrically to match the front part. Finally, at the top of the beginning chain, work 2 treble crochets at the same time. That's it for the 5th row. Continue with rows 6 and 7. I've already completed them. These 2 rows involve crocheting double crochets, chains, or DC2 tog in the corresponding positions. The beginning and ending should follow the chart to work treble crochets. Everyone just needs to finish these 2 rows. In row 8, you'll need to work DC3 tog. Let me demonstrate this stitch technique for you. First, refer to the chart to complete the stitches before the DC3 tog. After finishing, on these 3 stitches, work 1 unclosed double crochet on each of them. Then yarn over, pull the yarn through all loops at once. That's DC3 tog. Continue referring to the chart. Finish rows 8 and 9. Don't cut the yarn after finishing. That concludes the first 9 rows. After completing the first 9 rows, you need to work single crochets along this diagonal edge. Start by working 1 chain. Then refer to the chart. Work a corresponding number of single crochets along the edge of each row. The distribution of single crochets can also be adjusted according to your preference. Just make sure the total stitches match the pattern. Both sides should be symmetrical. In the middle, work 1 single crochet into this double crochet stitch. After finishing everything, on the second chain from the right of this double crochet stitch, slip stitch and cut the yarn. That concludes motif 4. Now we need to sew them together. Finally, crochet the edging around the outer edge. First, we can sew all the motif 2 into groups of 4. Then sew motif 1 to its surrounding motif 3 or motif 4. This means sewing a total of 9 sections first. Lastly, sew these 9 sections together. You can start by working around the central piece. Sew these 4 sections together individually. Finally, sew the 4 sections of motif 2 together. The specific sewing order can be determined according to preference. Motif 2 is sewn using the same color thread as the final round of color B. When sewing motif 3 or motif 4 to the central motif 1, use the same color thread as the final round of the corresponding motif 1. When sewing the 9 large sections together, if you're sewing the 4 edges of the central large section, use the same color thread as the final round of color A for motif 3. For all other sections, use the same color thread as the final round of color B for motif 2. I'll start with these 4 small fabric pieces. To demonstrate how to sew the 4 motif 2 together, you can watch my demonstration first, and then try it yourself. Pay attention to the motif layout. First, thread the sewing needle with the corresponding color yarn. The length of the thread is generally 2-3 times the length you need to sew. We start from the middle chain of this corner. And sew all the way to the middle chain of the next corner. Match one stitch to another between the 2 pieces. Pick up the nearby half stitch, and use whip stitch to sew them together. If you have stitch markers at home, you can use a few to temporarily secure some points. This makes sewing more convenient. If you don't have stitch markers, you can use safety pins or paper clips as substitutes. Since the sample is relatively small here, I won't place any stitch markers. When sewing here, maintain moderate tension. It shouldn't be too tight or too loose. If one of the pieces has more or fewer stitches than it should, or if you sew 1 or 2 stitches incorrectly, you can make adjustments while sewing. That is, on the side with fewer stitches. Sew the same stitch twice. Sew normally on the other side. If this side has fewer stitches, sew this position again. I'll continue sewing normally here. After sewing, continue with the remaining 2 motif 2. Start from the middle chain of this corner. Sew to the middle chain of the next corner. The corners are all normal here, so the middle chain to the middle chain. Don't sew too loose here. After finishing sewing, you can sew the ending one more time. Then tie off and weave in the ends. Next, sew this side using the same method. At the corners, continue to align and sew the middle chain with the middle chain. This means ensuring that the motifs are aligned. Continue sewing this side, then fasten off and weave in the ends. Next, sew all the remaining 3 large motif 2. After finishing motif 2, move on to sewing motif 1 and its surrounding 4 motif 3 or motif 4. The sewing length here is the circumference of motif 1. Cut a piece of yarn that is 2 to 3 times this circumference. When sewing, you can leave half of the yarn as a reserve. Use the first half to sew 2 sides. Then use the remaining half for the other 2 sides. First, take one motif 1 and match it with the corresponding motif 3 or motif 4. The middle chain at the corner of motif 1 should correspond to the top of the last row's turning chain on the edge. That is, the insertion position should match where the slip stitch is. If you can't find it precisely, an approximation will do. Don't sew all the way down to the bottom single crochet of the edging. Next, the adjacent chain on the left corresponds to this single crochet here. Continue sewing them together correspondingly. Keep sewing until you reach the middle chain at the corner. This is the spot next to the single crochet for the edging. You can pick up the beginning chain of this single crochet, or you can also sew through the back loop of this stitch. Then sew the next motif 3 or motif 4. The corresponding situation is the same as before. You can sew a couple more times at this corner here, to ensure it's roughly flat. Next, everyone continue sewing this piece using this method. Then use the reserved yarn tail here to sew the remaining 2 pieces as well. After sewing it together, continue to sew the remaining 4 motif 1 in the same way, and their corresponding motif 3 or motif 4 too. After completing it, follow the order explained earlier, and sew the 9 large pieces together. At the corners, sew a few extra stitches as needed, just make sure there are no obvious large spaces. That concludes the sewing part. Next, let's learn how to crochet the edging. For the first round, join the yarn at the corner space. Crochet 2 single crochets. Then, on each motif's double crochet, work a single crochet correspondingly. For these junctions in the middle, crochet 1 stitch in each space. Crochet 1 stitch at the seams. At the corners, work 2 single crochets simultaneously, 2 chains, and 2 single crochets. Finally, here you can start with 1 chain. Then work a single crochet to connect on the first single crochet. For the second round, start with 1 single crochet in the space. Then, work 1 single crochet on each single crochet. At the corner spaces, work 1 single crochet, 2 chains, and 1 single crochet. Finally, work 1 single crochet, and 2 chains in the starting space. Then finish with a slip stitch, and fasten off the yarn. After completing the first 2 rounds, I'll use this sample to explain the third round. First, join the yarn at the corner space. Make 3 chains. Then, work 2 double crochets in the space. Next, work 1 single crochet in the second single crochet on the left side, then make 1 single crochet, chain 3, and work a HDC puff 2 tog. First, slightly stretch the loop. Then, pick up 1 strand at the third chain, and work 3 unclosed half double crochets. You can pick the carrying yarn located in the middle of the backside of the chain. If you can't find it precisely, just pick any strand around that area, that will work fine. Pull it up to roughly the same height as the right side. Next, skip 3 stitches below, and work 3 unclosed half double crochets on the 4th stitch. Again, slightly stretch the loop, making it about the same size as the loop here. After completing that, yarn over, and pull through all loops on your hook at once. This is a HDC Puff 2 tog. We'll simply call this the puff stitch from now on. Then, work 1 chain to secure. Pinch the bottom part, and tighten it slightly. Next, pick up 1 strand of yarn like this chain here, meaning you hook into this space, and work 1 HDC3 puff. We'll simply call this the HDC3 puff from now on. First, gently stretch the loop a bit. Do the same as before here. Then, work 3 unclosed half double crochets here at the same time. Next, yarn over, and pull the yarn through all loops at once. The HDC3 puff is done. Work 3 chains. Skip 3 stitches below. Work 1 single crochet. Skip 2 stitches. Work 5 double crochets at the same time. Skip 2 stitches. Work 1 single crochet. Skip 2 stitches and work 5 double crochets. Start from this single crochet. Repeat this section of stitch pattern. Each time, skip 2 stitches between the single crochet and the double crochets. For both edges, skip 3 stitches before working. Let me demonstrate another group. Skip 2 stitches. Work 1 single crochet. Chain 3. Then work 1 HDC Puff 2 tog. Pay attention to slightly enlarge the loop. After completing it, secure with a chain. Work another HDC3 puff. Chain 3. Skip 3 stitches. Work 1 single crochet. Skip 2 stitches, 5 double crochets. Skip 2 stitches, 1 single crochet. Skip 2 stitches, 5 double crochets. Next, repeat this process all the way until you reach the second single crochet on the right side of the corner. This means that after completing it, there will be exactly 1 single crochet left here. If it's not exact here, you need to adjust the position of the spaces appropriately earlier. After completing, crochet 7 double crochets into this space at the same time. The rest of the crochet pattern is identical to the previous section. Everyone finish this round. The ending will be in this space. Crochet 4 more double crochets and join with a slip stitch. That concludes the third round. Continue to the fourth round. Work 1 chain. Work 1 single crochet at the slip stitch position. Chain 2. Work 1 double crochet at this insertion point. Chain 3. Work 1 HDC3 puff into this space. No need to enlarge the loop here. Directly work 3 unclosed half double crochets. The unclosed stitches need to slightly stretch the loop, then yarn over, pull through all loops at once. Move on to chain 5. Work another HDC3 puff in the same position. Chain 3. This space, which is the first chain here. Work 1 double crochet. Chain 3. Work 1 single crochet in the middle of this double crochet. Work 5 double crochets below on the single crochet. Work 1 single crochet in the middle of this double crochet. Chain 3. Start from this double crochet. Then repeat this stitch pattern after that. At the ending, work 1 double crochet in this chain position. Then chain 2. Work 1 single crochet, each on the 3rd and 5th double crochets here. Chain 3 in between. After completing it, chain 2. Next, work every corner using the method shown here. Follow the chart to complete this round. That concludes the 4th round. Continue with the 5th through 7th rounds. For the 5th round, work double crochets in the corresponding chain spaces or stitches. Work 1 single crochet into the middle one among these 5 double crochets. For the 6th round, work double crochets, single crochets, and chains correspondingly. Work treble crochets for the corner sections. For the 7th round, work all sections except for the dents like these. Do not work single crochets in the 2 chain spaces. Only work single crochets in the single crochets below. For the rest, work single crochets correspondingly in the double crochets or chain spaces. For the picket stitches. Except for the 4 corners and each of these dents. Work 1 picket stitch after every 3 single crochets in the middle section. That is, maintain symmetry on both sides. The interval between stitches is slightly larger in the dents. The interval between stitches is slightly smaller at the corners. Refer to the chart for specifics. When crocheting the picket stitches here, use the same method as the picket stitches in the 4th round of motif 1. The picket stitch is made by first crocheting 3 chains. Then picking up the front half loop and the left thread and slip stitching them together. After completing the entire edging, slip stitch into the starting single crochet, and fasten off the yarn. That concludes the explanation of the edging. Up to this point, the blanket has been fully explained. If you have any unclear points while crocheting, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family. Support your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.